So, magnetism is this natural force that exists on Earth. We think of it in a physical way of magnets as the first thing that comes to my mind. It has this energy that allows certain things to attract to it, other things repel from it, and we can think of the poles, the Earth's poles, and how magnetism is affected as one of Earth's elemental aspects. And magnetism is simply an exchange or relationship of energy. And we can think of magnetism as a thing that can help or hinder us in our own being and existence. When it comes down to personal magnetism, it's good to think about what you value and what you need and how you're showing up with that in mind and what you're attracting in your life as a result. Energy is everything, and everything is energy. One of my favorite sayings. And it's important to realize this because it comes down to energy even being a focus in our thoughts and emotions, which we don't often think of as energy, but they totally are. We can think negative things, or we might be even a positive person in general, but thinking about things in a negative way brings about that thing, that negativity that you're trying to avoid. So by just even focusing on what you don't want can bring it in. So attraction and thinking are very closely linked together. So relying on or realizing what it is that you value and want and desire, that is a very beautiful, natural, beneficial thing to do, to focus on what's important and what you want and what you want to call in. I'm not trying to be woohoo and all like, oh, just be positive all the time. That's not really what I'm getting at. And it's not always possible to be positive all the time. It's not realistic. And as magnetism shows up in our physical world, we know that negative and positive energy need to exist. So there's going to be both. It's natural law. There's no need to put pressure on it one way or the other. But having the awareness that your thoughts and emotions and the response that you have to the things that happen in your life and your daily interactions with people and situations can greatly impact what you're attracting into your life. One way to hone in on this is to simply think about the thoughts that you are thinking throughout the day. Enjoy a little metacognition of thinking about your thinking. Notice where you are putting positive energy and where you're putting negative energy, and see if you can shift that a little bit. When you start noticing where there's negativity or where there's judgment, and you start wanting to get curious about that and do something about that, I will always recommend a meditation practice. Mindfulness meditation is one of the most advantageous things that we can do for ourselves. It can be a quick, simple daily process of 10 minutes. It might be something you do each morning when you wake up and come into your world. It might be the last thing you do as you sink into the comfortable position before you fall asleep. But regardless of when you do it, the focus on gratitude is perhaps this strongest, most effective thing that helped me start to shift my own thinking. So, and this, I suggest this through meditation just simply because of what a meditation is. It's allowing you to be with you in stillness and your mind, which is hard for some people, but it's a very good practice. And it's an opportunity to come within and really ask yourself what you're experiencing and noticing what you're grateful for in those experiences. We have the power and potential to be able to see those silver linings, to be able to notice that even in negative what seems like a negative experience on the surface is actually a positive lesson or message for us. It's an opportunity to learn and grow. So when it comes to cultivating a meditation practice, I just suggest having a comfortable space where you can lay. Maybe you light the area with candles or burn incense. Really invoke some of those other physical senses to bring you into a state of relaxation so that you can easily slip into being with yourself. Now, some people I know have a hard time meditating. I struggle with it myself. We get caught up in our day-to-day, and our minds are very good at being busy about thinking about the next thing we have to do, or the next goal we have to achieve, or the next thing we need to check off of our to-do list. We're programmed to do that, to be that busy, to be that distracted. So if you're not used to meditating, coming into that practice can be really discouraging and frustrating. And I just recommend that you stick with it. I saw a quote that came up yesterday, and I've heard it before, that said, some people say they can't meditate or don't meditate because their mind is too busy. And other people will say that they meditate because their mind is too busy. And I kind of liken that to a quote that one of my yoga teachers used to say, and that was, "It is the days when you feel like you don't want to do yoga that you need it the most." And that goes for meditation as well. It's a powerful practice. It's like building a muscle. You need to go through and learn the skills and practice it and get comfortable with it before it will likely become beneficial. I mean, even sitting in meditation with the monkey brain is more beneficial than not. So even if you're beginning your practice and you're busy up in your head and that's bothering you, that's fine. Those thoughts are there for a reason, and we've actually allowed them and welcomed them in for a reason. So it's really about kind of taking back some of that power in your mind and body, and allowing the thoughts to be there. Any how-to meditation process I've ever gone through will tell you, allow the thoughts. They're there. It's okay. But there's this neat skill of equanimity where you learn to allow them to be there without judgment. I know years ago when I started to learn to meditate, I would get so annoyed with myself that I couldn't shut off my brain for just 10 minutes to meditate. We're not used to that. It's not natural. So be patient with yourself. Be kind. It's maybe one of the most important and powerful practices that you could take on for yourself. And I think you'll find once you start practicing meditation regularly and being in a space of gratitude and living in the here and now, like just actually being right in this moment now, which is also a very hard thing for us to do, but you'll notice that magnetism shift. You're not calling in the busyness. You're not calling in the stress. You're not calling in chaos. It just is. And even when you notice the chaos and you notice the craziness that life can bring, you can sit in that moment and realize that it just is. It brings a completely different level of peace than we're used to experiencing. I feel like a lot of people need that message right now, and I sometimes feel like a broken record with my friends. "Oh, are you meditating? You should try meditation." But it's true, and I should listen to my own words more and meditate more. It's a valuable, valuable tool we have, and it's very simple and easy to do once you get past that initial discomfort of it. So I just want to invite you to get curious about what you're thinking, what those thoughts mean energetically, what it may be that you are attracting into your life, and decide if that's something that you want to take control over, because we do have a significant amount of control over our thinking, which affects our decision making, and that affects our behaviors. And once we have some understanding around some of this stuff, we can powerfully change how we're showing up in our lives and how we're experiencing our world. We talk about a lot of this stuff in our course. The Thrive system is focused on just that, thinking about our thinking, understanding our beliefs, understanding mindset, the subconscious, and really how we have control over the thought processes and other aspects of our lives. So if you're curious about that, please come check us out, see what our course offerings are like, contact us with any questions you have, and look forward to being able to shift a little. Peace and love.